Hi friends, welcome to this week's video. Today I'm going to show you two different ways to store curry leaves. Now curry leaves or curry patta are widely used in Indian cuisine from the north right through to the south. We get them here fortunately, and as lovely as they are to use fresh, it can take a little while to work through a whole bunch, and so I'm going to show you the two ways that I like to preserve them or store them. Now, before I get into that, I will let you know that last week I was a guest on a podcast called Connected to the Land. The topic was urban gardening and gardening in small spaces, such as a balcony. So if you're interested in that, I've linked it down below. You can have a listen. Planting season is just around the corner for us city dwellers, and I've shared a lot of my great tips and tricks in that podcast. Okay, moving along, we have here the curry leaves. I picked up 2 bunches. I was actually out of them for some time. Oh my goodness, I really did miss them in my cooking. And on the day that I filmed this, I was making 2 dishes, and I wanted to use curry leaves in both of those dishes. So I sent Pranav and Mahi out for a walk so that I could just concentrate on my cooking and on preserving my curry patta. I opened up the bags. I was very pleased with the amount of curry patta that I purchased in each bag. I really couldn't tell how much was in there, but I was really happy to see that it was quite a decent amount, and I set about removing the leaves from the stems. You can simply slide them right off. It's very quick once you get the hang of it. It's a very simple task to complete, and you will have all of the leaves separated and ready for the next step. And the next step is, of course, washing. We want to make sure that our leaves have been thoroughly washed as well as dried before we go about with our 2 different methods. So after washing them, I laid them out on a tea towel, and then I started to pat them dry with another tea towel. Now for this first method, we're going to freeze the curry patta, and it is important to remove as much of that moisture as possible. I'm just keeping a few of them aside to use fresh in the 2 dishes that I'm making, but the remainder are going into a bag and directly into the freezer. This method will allow you to store the curry patta for weeks, possibly even months. That's, if you can go that long without using it, because it is so good. A friend of mine told me that she also rubs a little bit of oil on the leaves before freezing them, but in my experience, I found that you don't really have to do that. For our second method, which is to dry the leaves, simply cover them with a towel and wait for 2 days. You can put them aside on your countertop somewhere where they won't be disturbed, and after 2 days you will have dried leaves. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. Here I'm just preparing 2 dishes, as I mentioned, using the curry patta. In one dish I'm using them directly as I cook, and in this dish here, which is a ghee curry, I'm using them in a chonk or a tempering. Alright, so taking a look at the curry patta 2 days later, this is the same batch, and you can see that they are nicely dried and preserved. And some people say that you can do this in the air fryer and do it in your microwave and just nuke them for a couple minutes, and you certainly can, but I really prefer this natural method of drying them. I think it really locks in the flavor as well as some of the, faded yet still beautiful color. Now the only thing for you to do is to put these away in an airtight container. You can use a glass jar, you can use a plastic container of some kind like I am, and these dried curry patta will last you months. Alright, thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope that you are safe and well wherever you are, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Now the 2 dishes that I made, if you're curious, one was a ghee curry, the other one was a green bean sabzi with coconut. I will link them both down below. This is what they looked like. The green bean, I'm actually going to link a tindora recipe because it's very close to that, but they'll be there for you. Okay, bye-bye. See you next time.